All right, hello and welcome. You know that one plant you see everywhere? The one with the gorgeous trailing leaves that just seems impossible to kill? Well, you've come to the right place. Today, we're doing a deep dive into an absolute classic, the Golden Pothos. Let's get right into it.
And hey, don't just take my word for it. Listen to what plant expert Anastasia Remeslis says. She calls it the one plant she'd recommend to absolutely everyone. I mean, from total beginners to seasoned pros. That's a huge endorsement, right? There's a reason it's such a superstar, and by the end of this, you're going to be a Pothos pro.
Okay, so before we really dig in, here are the quick and dirty facts you need to know. First off, its nickname is Devil's Ivy, and for good reason. This thing is famously hard to kill. It's also a total powerhouse when it comes to purifying your air, and it grows like a weed, which is awesome. But, and this is super important, you have to remember it is toxic to cats and dogs, so please keep it up high where your furry friends can't get to it.
So here's what we've got on tap for today. We'll start with why it's basically indestructible. Then we'll get into the two most important things, light and water. After that, the foundation for growth, how to prune it to get that really full look, and finally, how to fix any little problems that pop up. First up, the indestructible houseplant. Seriously, why is this the perfect plant to start with? That whole devil's ivy thing isn't just a cool name. It's because this plant is so ridiculously resilient. It can literally stay green even in a dark corner. It's like the ultimate confidence booster if you're just dipping your toes into the world of plants.
Okay, let's get into the real meat and potatoes here, mastering light and water. I'm not kidding when I say this is 90% of the battle. If you can get these two things right, you're pretty much golden. Your pothos will be thanking you for years.
One of the best things about pothos is how flexible it is with light. I mean, it'll survive in a low-light office with just those fluorescent lights above. But if you want it to thrive and get those gorgeous splashy golden patterns on the leaves, you got to give it bright, indirect light. So think near a window, but not right in a sunbeam. The big no-no is intense direct sunlight. That'll just scorch the leaves and leave you with sad brown spots.
All right, lean in for this one because this is the #1 mistake I see everyone make. If there is one single thing that will kill a golden pothos, it's this: overwatering. It's death by too much love, and we are absolutely not going to let that happen to your plant. So how do you get it right? It's actually a super simple 3-step dance. Step 1, check the soil. Literally, stick your finger in there about an inch or two. If it feels dry, you're good to go. Step 2, when you water, don't be shy. Give it a good, thorough soak until you see water coming out the bottom of the pot. And step 3, this is the most critical part, dump out that extra water in the saucer. Never, ever let your plant sit in a puddle. That's just asking for root rot.
And you know what's cool? Your plant will literally talk to you. You just have to learn its language. If its leaves are turning yellow or the stems feel kind of soft and mushy, it's screaming, "I'm drowning." But if you see droopy, wilted leaves and the edges are getting all brown and crispy, that's it telling you, "Hey, I'm thirsty over here." Once you learn to read these signs, you're all set.
All right, you've got light and water down pat. Now let's talk about the foundation. This is where we go from just keeping the plant alive to helping it truly thrive and get all that lush, fast growth that pothos is famous for. And that means we're talking soil and fertilizer.
Now, you could just use a regular bag of potting mix from the store, and that's fine. But if you want the best for your pothos, you want soil that drains really, really well. You can even whip up your own. It's like a simple recipe. 2 parts regular potting soil for the food, 1 part perlite, that's the white crunchy stuff, for drainage, and 1 part peat moss to hold on to a little bit of moisture. The key takeaway here, drainage is everything.
And when it comes to feeding your pothos, less is definitely more. These guys are not heavy eaters. All you need to do is give them a little snack once a month, but only in the spring and summer when they're actively growing. Come fall and winter, you can just stop completely. Oh, and a big tip, whatever fertilizer you use, dilute it to half strength. That way you won't accidentally burn the roots.
Okay, now, for my favorite part, and it's probably the most rewarding thing you can do for your pothos, pruning. I know, it sounds like a chore, but it's not. This is the secret weapon to getting a super full bushy plant instead of a stringy one. And the best part? Free plants. Who doesn't love free plants?
So what's the magic here? Well, think of it like a haircut. When you trim back those long, kind of sparse vines, we call those leggy, it actually tells the plant, hey, send out more branches. You just make a little snip right above a leaf node, and boom, the plant will start pushing out new growth from that spot. It's how you get that full, compact look instead of long, sad strings, and you're left with cuttings.
And those cuttings? Time to make new plants. Propagating a pothos is so easy it almost feels like cheating. Just grab a piece of vine that has a few of those little brown bumps. Those are the nodes. Snip off the leaf at the very bottom and just stick the whole thing in a jar of water. The only rule is to make sure at least one of those nodes is underwater, because that's where the roots will magically appear. Give it a few weeks and voila, you've got a whole new plant.
All right, last section. Even with a plant this tough, things can sometimes go a little sideways. But listen, don't panic and don't think you failed. Think of these issues as simple little puzzles. And guess what? We've got the answer key right here for you.
So let's tackle the big one. This is, hands down, the question I get asked more than any other. You're admiring your gorgeous green plant, and then you see it. A single bright yellow leaf. What on earth does that mean? What did you do wrong?
Okay, deep breath. 9 times out of 10, maybe even 99 times out of 100, the answer is just one thing: overwatering. That's it. The soil is just too wet for too long, the roots are suffocating, and that yellow leaf is its little SOS signal. But the fix is just as simple. First, put the watering can down. Just stop watering. Second, make sure your pot actually has a drainage hole at the bottom. Then you just have to be patient. Let the top couple of inches of soil get bone dry before you even think about giving it another drop. If it's a really bad case, you might have to repot it in some fresh, dry soil to give the roots a fresh start.
All right, on to the next common puzzle. Your pothos is growing, for sure, but it's just these long, stringy, almost bulb-looking vines, right? Big gaps between the leaves. How do we fix that?
Well, the cause is usually pretty simple. It's not getting enough light. The plant is literally reaching, stretching itself out, trying to find more sun. So the fix is a simple 1-2 punch. Step 1, move it to a brighter spot. Step 2, grab your scissors. Prune those leggy vines back, and that'll tell the plant to start growing fuller and bushier right where it is.
Okay, so let's wrap this all up with your ultimate Pothos Pro Tips cheat sheet. First, wipe down the leaves every now and then to keep them dust-free. Second, a great trick is to wait for the leaves to look just a little bit droopy. That's the plant telling you it's thirsty. Third, don't be scared to give it a haircut. Pruning is your friend. And finally, my favorite hack, take those little baby plants you propagated and plant them right back in the same pot. Instant fullness.
And there you have it. The Golden Pothos really is the whole package. It cleans your air, grows like crazy, and basically thrives on neglect. It is an absolute classic for a reason. So now you're armed with all the knowledge. The only real question left is, where are you going to put yours?